Hi, I'm Britta and I'm a Jamberry consultant, and today I'm going to show you a couple different ways of how to apply your Jamberry wraps and also how to remove them properly so you don't have any type of nail damage. I'm going to show you two different methods that I use. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there and a lot of different methods and techniques and things that people use. But these two application methods I have found to be the most successful. That's where a good application starts, is with a good method, and that's where it will take you for, or it'll last you the 2 weeks that it's supposed to last you. So yeah, if you want to make sure you get them on properly, use a good method, and then that will better ensure that they'll actually last as long as they're supposed to. So first I'm going to show you how to remove them. I have some on right now. These are a week old. They're still looking pretty fresh. I'm going to do my pointer and my thumb with two separate types of methods. I'm going to use something called the cold method and just like the basic Jamberry application method that's on their website. So I'm also going to add in a few little tips while I'm doing it that I believe help a lot in keeping the wrap stay down nice and smooth, especially near your cuticles and towards the tip of your nail. So I'll show you that as well. But first I'm just going to show you how easy it is to take them off once they're on. I usually just use some, nail polish remover. A lot of people like to use oils. You can use coconut oil, you can use olive oil, whatever kind of oil you have. It's a little bit more of a gentle method, but this doesn't ever seem to be not gentle on my fingernails, so I feel like it works pretty well. So what you do, or what I do, is fill up my little cap with nail polish remover. I'm going to take my nail wrap and soak it in the nail polish remover just for a few seconds. Then, if you happen to have a toothpick, or no, I always call it a toothpick, a dental floss stick, these things work really slick because all you need to do is work your way underneath the wrap, just very gently. If you feel any kind of pull or resistance at all, you need to dip your nail again, and sometimes it takes a couple times to actually successfully get it off. But all you're going to do is put this under your nail, or under the wrap, and just kind of move down forward a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit of resistance, so I'm going to dip it again because I don't want to try to force it off. Otherwise, that's when you run into damaging your actual nail. Then I'm just going to do it again, nice and slow, and then it pops right off. And there you have it. My nice, there's kind of a glare. There you go. Nice, undamaged fingernail. Then you just do that to all your nails, and you'll have a little bit of the glue residue that's on the wrap probably still on your nail. So I just go on it with a cotton ball and some nail polish remover and just rub the rest of that off. And now I have a nice clean slate to work with. So I'm going to quick do that with the other wrap that I have on my thumb. Just keep it in there for a few seconds. Play with the edges a little bit. You can even use like the tip of this thing to try and like lift up the edges a little bit better. You can also use, this is called an orange stick. Some people like to just scrape it right off with that nice and gently. Toothpick if you have that. Anything that will fit underneath your wrap. I'm just going to dip it one more time. Use my handy dental floss pick. Just pull it down, work it kind of just like slide it back and forth, feeling a little bit of resistance. So I'm going to put it back in. And there we go. Whoa, just flew right off. And my nails look nice and healthy. So now I'm going to go back with my cotton ball, wipe the residue off. And I'm ready. So now I'm ready to apply my nail wraps. And that is also pretty easy. People are always careful about saying like, oh, it's really easy to do this, but it actually is. You just want to make sure you're doing it carefully and correctly, because a lot of times people get the idea that like, this is just so easy, it'll take me 2 seconds, I just slap it on, and I'll have these nail wraps that will last for a long time. But if you don't do it correctly, and if you don't do it carefully, they don't always last as long as you think they're going to. So you want to make sure that they're getting nice and heated, which I'll show you, and you want to use a lot of pressure, because those are the two main things that keep these on a long time. So I've already kind of cut my wraps to match the shape of my nails. They come, looking something like this. Obviously this part is still there. They come in a wrap or a sheet with 2 rows, and you just hold it up to your nail and try to match which one best fits. I usually try to go a little bit smaller because you don't want to get your nail wrap touching your cuticle or your finger at all, or else it won't stay. So I'm going to do my thumbnail first. I've already trimmed the top of it because my nail on the top is more flat than the actual wrap. It comes more curved on the wrap sheet. So I trimmed it to fit the actual shape of my nail. And now I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you the cold application method, which means I'm going to place this wrap on my fingernail before I actually heat it up. So one of the key things is that you don't want to touch the wrap with your fingers, because you don't want the wrap to get oil on it, or else it won't stay very well. So I use an orange stick. You can use a toothpick or whatever object you can find to kind of maneuver it underneath the wrap, and this is what I use to hold it on. I don't ever want to touch the back of the wrap, the sticky part, with my fingers, or it'll transfer oils. So I'm going to place this on my nail. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit so you can see better. I'm going to put it on my nail just very carefully. Oops. Try to get it right up next to the cuticle. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Then I'm just going to gently push. I haven't even pushed the sides down yet. They're still up and they haven't adhered to my nail yet. So now I'm going to take this and place it in front of my heater. Here's our nice Jamberry heaters. I have it going and it's nice and hot. So I'm going to put it in front of the heat. These heaters get really, really hot, so you just need it for a few seconds. Then I'm going to push up towards or down the middle of my nail, and then on the sides, pushing it towards the sides of my cuticles. And then immediately I'm going to pull the excess. This isn't a very big piece, but I'm going to pull the excess nice and taut. When the wrap is still warm and pliable, I'm going to pull it and stretch it, and that will help release any air bubbles that you might find along the sides. So then you want to put it in front of the heat again. And then this is when I go back and I use our little cuticle pusher. You can also use an orange stick if you have one of those. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to push, push, push. Lots of pressure. Really focus on the edges near my cuticle and near the sides of my nail. And then I usually just do it one more time. Lots of heat and lots of pressure. That's what we're looking for. Whoops. All right, so now that I have that on there nice and tight, I'm gonna let it cool a little bit. And then, after it's cooled, if I had more on the top, I would just trim it with the scissors. Our application kits come with these little scissors that are nice. You can just trim the top of it off as close as you can to your nail. And then what you do is you take a nail file. These also come with the application kit. And you are just going to file the rest of it off. They tell you in the Jamberry video to do like a 90-degree angle, but I've heard from a lot of fellow consultants that it works best to do like a 45-degree angle, because then a teeny bit of your nail is showing at the top, and that helps decrease the chances of having them chip or like peel or get ruined on the tips of your nail. So I'll just quick do that and show you how easy it is to take off the top of it. Then you can go back through, you can either use the scissors. I actually have, this is a cuticle trimmer that I got from Target. It works really well to get into like little tiny spaces. And I just go through and like, I don't know if you can see that, just trim the excess. It's like a teeny little scissor, so it works really well to get the edges and the little pieces of wrap that are maybe hanging on. And that's all you do. And then it's done. So that's the cold method. And the hot method, or I guess the basic Jamberry method, is the same type of idea. You're fitting the wrap to your nail, and then you take it off using something without touching it. Stick it to something to hold it on to, so you're not using your fingers. And then instead of placing it on your finger first, you're going to heat it up first. So you heat the wrap until you see it kind of curl. It'll start looking flimsy and more pliable. So you really only need to hold it in front of the heat for like 5 to 8 seconds probably. These heaters are really hot. And if you're using a blow dryer, same kind of thing. It doesn't take a ton of time. So now that it's ready and pliable, I'm just going to place it on my nail as carefully as I can and as straight as I can, and then immediately push down, just like I did when I heated up my other nail, down the center and down the sides, and then immediately I'm going to pull the excess. Pull it, pull it. And this one was easier to pull because I have so much to work with on the end. That's usually what happens. You'll have quite a bit of wrap on the end to work with. And so then after that, I put it back in front of the heat. Kind of push it down again. Use my cuticle pusher. Make sure I'm getting or focusing on the cuticle area and the edges. And now I'll let it cool off. I could put it in front of the heat one more time just for good measure, but I usually just do it 2 or 3 times and then I'm done. So I'll let that cool. I'll trim the tip of it with the scissors. And then with my file, I'm just going to file off the end in a downward motion. You don't ever want to do it like up and down, or side to side, because then you'll create a really jagged mess. Since these are made of vinyl, you want to just only go in a downward motion. And I have some little pieces that are kind of hanging on to the edges there, so I'll just go through with my cuticle trimmer and snip those off. And there you have it. My second nail. And one more thing that I want to show you real quick. It's called the baggy method. So whether you're doing the cold method or the hot method, whatever, I always like to end my session. I usually do this at the very end when all of them are finished. You wrap a plastic baggie around your finger really tight, and this is supposed to help create an even, I don't even know how to describe it, an even surface for the heat to be dispersed. So when you hold it back in front of the heater, it helps create a nice seared edge. It's almost like shrink wrapping the wrap to your fingernail this way. Ooh, ouch. Like it's hot really fast. Then you just peel it off. And that method helps a lot with the tips, having or making sure that the tips stay down nicely. So I'll do that to my thumbnail real quick. I'm just holding the bag really tight, kind of pulling down on the tip of my nail. And that's it. So there you have it. I did forget to mention something important in the beginning, because this is my very first YouTube video and I knew I would forget something, and I did. Before you put your nail wraps on, after you probably wouldn't have any on yet, but once you like take your nail polish off or something, you want to go through and push your cuticles back with a cuticle pusher or an orange stick or something that you can just like get those cuticles out of the way. You don't want them to be in the way, or else if your wrap touches it or goes on top of it, that can cause them to start lifting, because if they're touching any kind of skin at all, they don't adhere well. So you want to make sure you get your cuticles out of the way, push them back, and so you have a nice surface to work with. You also want to clean up your nails with like an alcohol wipe or dish soap or something to help get the oils off before you put your wraps on, which of course I didn't do. I normally do. But yes, I knew I would forget that. Okay, so I'm sorry this video is so long, but I wanted to show you those two different methods that I use. I didn't want to link a video of someone else doing it or having someone else show you the different methods that they use, because I figured it would be better coming from the person who's your consultant, or who's, you know, helping throw the party for Mandy. So, yeah. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much.